Hi, first graders. This is Mrs. Bello, and this is what we're going to be working on today. Before we get started, I just want to say how much I miss you and wish that we were together doing this project, but I hope you are doing well. And I also want to do a shout out to all the first graders who've sent me stuff for our wall of kindness. Now, I have the wall of kindness behind me because I'm not at school anymore, I'm at home. And so I wanted to show you some pictures of the first graders who have sent me stuff to put up on the wall of kindness. So let me adjust this so you can see it better. I'm going to go up a little bit. And I have my Penny the Pointer here. And I'm going to point up here to 171, which is Foster. And he made a jelly bean tower and send a picture to someone. We also have, let me see, another first grader, Eden, who did some sidewalk art for her neighbors. We have Shelby, who painted her front door. Let me move it down a little bit. Shelby painted her front door for Easter, and Bella made a bracelet for a friend of hers. She also helped her sister with her homework. And then we have Kaden right here, who sent her, she sent me a picture of her landscape and the envelope. She sent it to somebody. And Cannon, who gave donuts to the people in the cafeterias. That was really sweet. So keep sending pictures. We're getting close to our goal of 200. I would love to go above 200. And keep sending me those pictures. Show me that you're sending it to someone or leaving it on their doorstep or something like that so I can see who you're sending it to. And I'll keep putting the pictures up and updating our wall of kindness. Okay, well today we are going to be working with making a seascape. Now seascape is one of our categories. Let me adjust the camera so you can see what I'm doing here. And we are going to be creating a seascape with warm and cool colors. Now I'm going to show you our color wheel. Remember how we did our primary colors, which are these three colors, and in between are our secondary colors. When we mix two colors together, we get our secondary colors. And then if you divide this in half, this side over here are our warm colors, the colors of fire. And over here are cool colors, which are the color of water or cool temperatures. So we will be using those colors when we create our seascape. Now, you should have read the book on YouTube, The Great Wave, and we're going to be inspired by the painting that I have in my classroom. If you remember, by the sink was the Great Wave painting by the Japanese artist Hokusai. So, what you're going to need today is a piece of paper, a pencil, a Sharpie or a ballpoint pen, or a black marker. But you can't use a black marker if you're going to paint. Then you decide, do you want to color it with crayons or do you want to paint it with watercolors? It depends on what you have at your house. These came from Walmart and they're Crayola brand. So if you want to paint, then you can join me when I show you how to paint it today. Otherwise, you can color it the same way and follow along. Okay, so I'm going to draw with Sharpie so you know what it looks like, and then we will get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the great wave. So from the side, we're going to draw a big curved line up like this. And this marker is not working that great, so let's try a different one. So you should be up top. Now we're going to go back toward that curved line and then make a smaller curved line like that, like the letter C, capital C. Then we're going to make a smaller one right next to it so that you have the form of a wave, so it looks three-dimensional. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit smaller. So start right here on the wave, and we're going to make a curved line over the top like that. Then we're going to curve the letter C again. Now we're going to be showing things going back into space. Remember our element of art with space, we want it to get smaller. So we're going to draw a smaller wave right next to it. Then we're going to go down a little bit, probably about a finger's width, and make a smaller wave. And it's shadow right there. That's what we're doing. We're doing the kind of shadow. And then a smaller one. Remember how in our landscape we made the bunnies get smaller and the trees get smaller? We're going to make these waves get smaller. And so we get to the edge of our paper and we can go off the paper like that. Okay, so now let's draw some wavy lines like this. Okay. Now, because we're getting close to summer and I would like to get wet, I would like to go to the beach. Let's draw you surfing on this big, huge wave. So we are going to draw a skinny oval like this. And then we're going to erase inside of this so you can't see that line. Okay? Then we're going to draw a little V like that so it looks like the end of, let's get a little closer so you can see what I'm doing here. I'll tip it over here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, now we're going to draw you on the surfboard. So draw a little V, upside down V, that. You getting closer? Can you see it? Okay, now let's draw a bigger V, bigger lines on the outside. So these are your legs. And then put an oval at the bottom for your feet, like that. Now we're going to make your torso, the sides of your chest. Okay? And we're going to make your arms. So draw two horizontal lines. And then make an oval for your fingers, like a mitten. Let's see if I can get it any closer. So you can really see what I'm doing. I don't want to take over my camera here. Pull it back a little more. I'm not getting any closer. Okay. Then let's do two horizontal lines on the other side, like that. And an oval. Now we've got to pull these lines together a little bit, leave an opening for your neck, and draw two vertical lines, little teeny tiny vertical lines for your neck. Then draw kind of an oval-y shape for your head. Now we're pretty far away, so we're just going to draw two dots and a smile. And then put your hair in, depending on if you're a boy or a girl. Okay? Just draw some hair. If you're a girl, you can make it out, way out, blowing in the wind like that. Can you see it? Okay, now we got to put your swimsuit on. Now, if you're a boy, you draw a line in the middle like that, and then make your swim shorts. If you're a girl, you can make two curved lines up like this, and then make this swimsuit, put some straps on like that, or make a bikini. It's up to you what you want to do. Okay, now in the famous painting, there was a big boat with people rowing the boat. So let's draw a boat. So make a thin U shape like this. And we can put our waves right up to the bottom of it like that. And then we can put some people in it. Draw an oval and diagonal lines like this. And they are going to have, they're rowing. So we got to draw diagonal lines and then put some paddles on the end of it. So it looks like it's in the water. Okay, and then you can draw them going, oh, the wave is crashing. So put a little circle for their mouth. Let me get that really close. Let's see if you can see really close what we're doing there. Okay, now, once you're all done, you can outline it with Sharpie or a ballpoint pen or a black marker, depending on if you're going to color it with crayons or if you're going to do it with watercolor. If you're going to do it with watercolor, you got to use a Sharpie or a ballpoint pen because regular markers will bleed with the watercolor. Okay, so now I'm going to paint. So I need some water for my paint. And here's my paint. And if you're going to do it with crayons, you can follow along with us and just color it as we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint the waves, these parts of the waves. And so we're going to use blue. And in my paint palette, I have dark blue and light blue. So I'm going to use dark blue for the water, like this. For the wave part, we're going to use dark blue. And remember, if you're using watercolor, put your brush in the water first, and then put your brush in the paint using the tip of the brush. You don't want to mess up your paints like people messed up my paints in our art room by smashing the brush down into the paint. Okay, so we're going to paint the sides of the wave with the dark blue. Now be careful not to paint your people, and you got to use the tip so you don't paint over your people. Now if you're not really confident in your painting skills, you could color your people with crayons first so the paint doesn't stick to them. And since we don't really have a skin color, we probably will use the crayons anyway. So I'm going to put this down here on the sides like this. This one's pretty dark. Now I'm going to paint some of this dark blue. Not a lot of the dark. I'm not going to cover the whole thing. I'm going to leave some white areas because I'm going to add green to it later. And so leave some white areas open. Okay. Now we're going to use purple for the shadow. And in the elements of art, that's called value. Remember, the shadow is called value. So I'm going to use my purple here, and I'm going to paint my shadow. And you can kind of overlap your black lines a little bit so it blends in with the blue. Now, if you're coloring, you can overlap your purple with your blue also. And I'm putting my paintbrush in the water first and then in my paint using my tip. And I'm being careful not to run into my people. And I keep using the purple to show what element of art? The value. That's right, value. Okay. So now we're going to use green. We're using all the colors in the water, and we will use the warm colors in the sky. So I'm going to get a little bit of green, and I think I have blue-green here. Yeah, I'm going to use some blue-green. Okay, and I'm going to add that. Right here is my blue-green. That's the dark green in the box. And I'm going to add that because, you know, water in the ocean is not all one color, depending on what is in the water, plants and that kind of thing. And so I'm going to add some of the green to my water down here. And you can leave some white showing because that looks like the waves splashing. And I'm going to put a little bit of green up here also in each of my waves. So now we have all the cool colors in our ocean. Okay, now we're going to do the sky with the warm colors. Now I'm going to move this over here so you can see the warm colors while I'm painting. And we're going to do a sunset. So we're going to start with yellow. And we're going to do yellow right here like this. Kind of around to make kind of it look like it's going down behind the wave. So make a curve line like that. Okay, you have to be really careful around your people so that you don't get paint on them, because we have to wait till it dries before we can paint the people. Okay. Then we're going to use, we did use yellow, now we're going to use yellow-orange, which is this very light orange. Okay. If you're looking in your crayon box, this would be yellow-orange, or it could also be called macaroni and cheese. And we're going to make kind of a stripe, a curved stripe of the yellow-orange. Okay. And it's going behind your waves. Now be careful you don't get too close to your waves if they're still wet, because then they'll bleed into each other. Our next we're going to do is orange. Now it's hard to see the difference between yellow and orange on the video, but you can definitely see the difference between yellow-orange and regular orange. Regular orange is right next to yellow in the paint box. Okay, and if you're looking for it in the crayon box, it's just plain orange. Okay, it needs to just say orange, not any other word with it. Okay, now we're going to use red-orange. Red-orange is up here next to our yellow-orange, and it's a little bit darker. You can kind of see. Now make sure they kind of run into each other when you paint, like this. Yellow-orange, like that. This is red-orange, sorry, red-orange. And in your crayon box, that's what it's going to say, red-orange. Okay, it's going to look like the regular orange, but it's a little bit darker. Okay, our next color is red, which is right here next to regular orange. I have to be careful because somebody got black. Now that's definitely darker than red orange. Okay, make sure that you got a lot of paint on your brush because red tends to turn pink in the watercolors if you put too much water on it. So only put a little bit of water on your brush for red because we don't want it to turn pink. Okay, and the last color we're going to use is called red violet. It's this pinky purple color. Okay, and it's going to go in the corners. And in your crayon box, it's going to be called red violet. Not purple violet, but red violet. Okay, so now we have our painting done. And I have to make sure that it dries. Let me dry it off a little bit before you paint your person up here and your person in the boat. And if you want to color them, you can. I'm going to use a peach color to color the face and arms and legs because I don't have that color in my paint box. And then I'm going to go ahead and paint with a smaller brush. Let me find a smaller brush. Here's a smaller brush. And we're going to paint I think I'll paint my boat down here orange because I want it to stand out in the water. You can use whatever color you want, but I want it to stand out. And then I would paint each person's body with a different color, maybe a little bit of red. And you have to be careful to not put too much water on your brush because it'll bleed into the boat. Maybe I'll do this one purple. See, now purple doesn't show up that well. Maybe this guy's wearing a brown shirt. And you can use a paper towel to catch it before it bleeds all over the place. And a yellow shirt. There we go. And up here, I'm going to give my girl a purple swimsuit. And some brown hair. Now remember, don't put a lot of water on your brush so you can make tiny little lines there. And then I'm going to give her a red surfboard. Probably if we were in class, I would have colored this because it's really hard to paint little tiny areas. So be really careful when you paint. So here is our great wave painting. It can be a painting or it can be a coloring. Here's my colored one. And send it to me. Send it to me. You gave it to your neighbor or you sent it in the mail, and I'll put you on the wall of kindness. I hope you have a great week. Bye.